I've been feeling led to read this book by Frangipane called This Day We Fight because I believe that we are in a critical season right now where we have to become skillful warriors. Anyways, I am going to start. This is This Day We Fight, breaking the bondage of a passive spirit, which I believe is the very thing that is really hurting the church. Let me read you the introduction. Overcomer. Ultimately, if we intend to follow Christ, we must think of ourselves not just as Christians, but more specifically as overcomers. The church is overstocked with people who identify themselves as Christians, but have no determined will to fight the fight of faith. They simply have adjusted to the level of their oppression and now tolerate a religious but mostly empty spiritual life. Beloved, it is not enough to sit regularly in church or even be familiar with the promises of God. We are called to possess them. The Bible said it is through faith and patience that we overcome and gain heaven's treasures. Hebrews 6:12. See also Revelations 2:3. Although some breakthroughs might take years in coming, we must not quit. Christ assures us that our lives can change and that when they do, we, like salt and light, will transform the world around us. There may be numerous reasons why so many Christians have attained so few of God's promises. One core reason, however, is that they're in bondage to a passive spirit, which is the theme of this book. Passivity arrests our will in many ways. We may have become lukewarm because we have been disappointed, or perhaps we are harboring offenses and hardening our hearts, or maybe we have been living an undisciplined or sinful life. The source of our spiritual passivity may also be demonic warfare, or it may be fear or just poor health or diet. Yet, whatever makes us spiritually passive also leaves us spiritually vulnerable. Let me explain. The virtue of Christianity does not flow from dogma or church services, although these are vital elements of our faith. Our source of spiritual life flows from our daily union with God in Christ. We do not bear fruit on our own. Jesus said if we abide in him, then we will bear much fruit. John 15:5. He tells us to come to him when we are weary and heavy laden. Matthew 11:28. Even the scriptures themselves, though they bear witness to the life of Jesus, cannot produce his life. We must come to him to have life. Nothing in the doctrine of what we call Christianity can, and of itself, substitute for the life we draw uniquely from Jesus. We are strong and invulnerable to spiritual attack as we are close to him. Because the enemy knows that it is our nearness to God that produces our strength, the first stage of his attack involves a preliminary deception that makes us feel as if we're cut off from Christ. The moment we accept this illusion of detachment, the devil is disarming us. Yet it takes a little more than our passive acceptance to keep us trapped. Passivity does not feel like sin. It does not specifically violate any of the Ten Commandments. Its deception is more like a drug that clouds our discernment. Thus, breaking passivity is the first stage in breaking deception and seeing our hearts defeated. I have written This Day We Fight, because I have too seen many Christians who have lost their first love for God. When love grows cold, a door opens in our souls toward darkness. We become vulnerable to other sins. Indeed, Jesus promised that the one who endures to the end will be saved. Matthew 24-13. Between now and the end of our lives, we will find many obstacles arrayed up before us. Each battle comes like a thief to steal, kill, and destroy. I suggest we examine our lives and take inventory. What have we lost over the years? We may have survived the battles but lost our joy. We may still be attending church, but our vision has grown dim. We may still know God is holy, but our thought life has become unclean. We can get our lives back, but we must overcome passivity. We must defeat the illusion that our current condition is our permanent condition. My prayer is that this book will stimulate your faith once again, and that you will be empowered to re-engage the battles of life and use with new zeal and divine wisdom. My hope is not only to expose the nature of a passive, immobilizing spirit, but to inspire us to walk as more than conquerors through him who loved us. Romans 8:37. And that is introduction to This Day We Fight.